Well, good afternoon, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. On the road here, but of course, just because I'm on the road does not mean that things don't get done with the Dallas Cowboys. And we have Brian Schottenheimer right now, kind of putting out the warning about playing the Denver Broncos. Playing in Denver is not like playing at any place else in the world. Mile High Stadium, it is real. And I dare say that the New York stinking Giants ran out of gas. So I want to listen to Brian Schottenheimer's press conference while I actually get ready for the Dan Saleo show coming up in a few minutes.
And the trainers and those guys are all over it just with the things that you can do. And, we're not a team that goes out there, a couple days early or anything like that. You go out there, you play the game. And
let's start this over.
By all means, step out if it's like that. Snakes? You got snake problems?
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
You didn't say hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, sir. Good, sir. Monday we had talked about some guys starting the 21-day window. Are those guys still on target? Overshown, Rebel, and those kinds of things?
Yep, and Cooper, Beebe. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to getting them back out there. I know they got big smiles on their faces.
We've talked a lot about the trades around here. You've been coordinator for a long time now. In this seat that you're in, how much are you involved in those discussions, or are you like, hey, just let me know if you got something?
Yeah, I mean, my focus is on the Broncos and coaching the team, and there's always going to be speculation this time of year, and I get that. And I talk to Will, Jerry, and Steven every day, and they keep me up to date on things that potentially. But, right now my focus is on trying to go into Denver and find a way to beat a really, really good football team.
Clarence Hill, DLLS. How you doing, Coach?
Good. Good change-up. I like that. Sorry, Todd.
Diggs here in protocol. Where is he?
He's in the building, in protocol, just going through the necessary steps to try to get out of protocol.
Obviously, 3-3-1 up and down season. What do you do to get the consistency? You haven't really won. The Cowboys haven't won in Denver since '95. Clearly, you're trying to string back-to-back good games together. What's the key?
Yeah, well, again, starts with today. Good meetings, good energy this morning. Talked to the guys a little bit. I guess it was more the offensive guys just out there at walkthrough about, we got to, sustaining success and putting together a streak. It's like we've done with the ball security and taking care of the football and, 4 straight games without giving it away. Well, and 3 straight games, I guess, or 4 straight games creating a takeaway. We have to do that with wins. You got to put together streaks of wins. You can't win, lose, because what you're looking at when you do that is, 8 and 9, 9 and 8, whatever was 17 games. It's a little harder to do the math for me, but it starts with today and the prep for today. And I'm not surprised that, this is a tough place to go and play. I mean, it's a good football team. They're well coached. They're talented. Sean's obviously a championship coach, and I've played a number of games there, and Denver haunts the Schottenheimers in some regards. So I don't want to go back to whatever it was, whatever year it was bad. But the old fumble and Jeremiah Castile. But it's a tough place to play. The fans are made. But I told the guys today, I said, hey, I love going there because it's going to be loud and crazy, and that's what you want.
How do you prepare for that altitude?
Really, there's not much you can do. Big thing for us is focusing on hydration. Hydration is real, and the trainers and those guys are all over it just with the things that you can do. And, we're not a team that goes out there, a couple days early or anything like that. You go out there, you play the game, and, we'll have oxygen and stuff ready for those guys. It's a little different, but I don't want to overstate it. I just want the guys to do what they can control, which is hydrate.
Brian Totter, Troy, the ESPN. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Suck-ups over there.
Yeah, that's your thing. You should have patented it. Yeah.
You first one to say. Anyway, when you go to Denver, obviously they have the incomplete thing. You go to Pittsburgh, they have Renegade that they play. Do you prepare your team for that stuff just to know what they're going to hear when you've not been to a place like that?
No, the Renegade thing, I laugh because, and it's you actually, if you're going to ask the question, you should say how they say it. The fans, they say incomplete, So I've heard it a lot in my life. But the Renegade thing, I laugh because we were playing we were playing, I was with the Jets coordinator, we were playing out there like week 15, and Braylon Edwards was on our team, and he knew it was coming. He's like, oh, you guys wait till you see this. And so we kind of looked up there. Next thing you know, all of our offensive players are watching. It's like Troy Polamalu, big hits, Jack Lambert, Mel Blount. And it was kind of a distraction. So I did think about that. But no, not really. I mean, we'll play, like sometimes you'll play certain songs and stuff. Like we play Renegade when we go back to Pittsburgh last year. We did it. Mike and those guys did it. But, it's – the process is the same, whether they're loud, whether they're not loud, which they'll be loud. The process is more about us and focusing on us.
With Overshown and the rehab that he's gone through, 3 torn ligaments you don't see. There's guys who never come back from things like that. When you were in his office, what did you see from him in the spring, maybe on the field with Britt doing all that stuff?
Yeah, I just saw a guy that every day attacked the day, worked his butt off. And they were doing something simple last week with Britt where they were doing like single leg jumps, man. And like this guy was, well, number one, the zero looked sweet, but like he had the headband around his neck. That looked cool. But honestly, the explosive power that he can generate and where he's at, I just love the kid, man. His mindset, he's never had a bad day. He's been dialed in on getting back. He's had a vision of what it's going to look like, and he's just that much closer to getting back out there and playing in games. But we'll see, how he does today, and there'll be a ramp-up period. But like I said, I'll keep saying we're getting close.
And then on the road, it's 40 points a game at home and 24 and a half on the road. How do you close that discrepancy? Do you put anything on that? No,
not really. I mean, execution, sometimes it's third down. Carolina was the run game, different things, that you have to look at. And we know what we're capable of. And again, I think it just, it comes down to execution. And this big push for us this week is going to be about fundamentals and techniques. And that'll start today with, the padded work that we get in there today. And this is a very, very physical football team that we're getting ready to play. Sean and that offense loved to run the football and obviously had a huge comeback win against the Giants. And on defense, they lead the league in sacks. Nick Benito and Cooper and those guys are outstanding edge rushers. And if Surtain's not the best corner in football, he's certainly in the discussion. So talented, so poised, they're really good. But they're very physical, and that's why we need the pad to work today.
John Machota with The Athletic. With Kenny Clark and Kenneth Murray, what do you expect them to be able to do, if anything, today?
Yeah, they'll do some things. Again, I think, we'll see how they feel. That's the other thing you do, John, you kind of get out there and see how they feel. We'll be smart with Kenny. He's a little sore. Certainly some Indy, but, we'll see how they do. And I think K9's feeling pretty good as well. So we'll get a feel. Mostly those guys get out there a little early, warm up, see how they feel, and then we'll adjust off of that.
And then with J.W. and Clowney, he talked after the game about kind of his ramp-up process and getting back into football shape. And obviously he played well in that game. Just what have you seen from him since he's been in the building in terms of, getting himself into that type of shape, not having a training camp? Yeah,
I've just seen the twitch that I remember. I felt that last week in practice, watching him. Let's be honest, the guy didn't have a training camp. He didn't have an off-season program, and I think it's amazing that he's been here, 3 weeks, and he performed the way that he performed last week. It shows you he kept himself in shape. He looks great. But I noticed it, and I noticed it incrementally throughout the week of, weeks where you're like, okay, yeah, it looks good. Oh, I like that. Okay, now that's what I remember seeing from him. So, and he performed well. And he needs to do it again this week for us to have a chance to win.
Nick Harris, Four-Star Telegram. Going back to this being the time of year where trade discussions are talked about with Will and his staff, what does their process look like around this time of year, and how does that help you be able to focus on Denver?
Yeah, they monitor everything. I mean, Will and I have touch point meetings basically every day in the A.M. and in the P.M. and we just talk about different things. And it's not just the trade deadline; it's our roster. And obviously, we got a lot of moving parts and a lot of people banged around, which everybody does this time of year. But the biggest thing that I pride myself on, and Will and Jerry and Steven are really this way, is the communication. Just because you're in the same building, you still have to work at the communication piece. And I've been in buildings where that doesn't happen. I've been on teams, really good teams, where the head coach and the general manager never talked. That was San Diego, a really good football team that basically got dismantled because of that. So we go out of our way to communicate, and we talk about different things, and they ask questions about the game plan, and I ask questions about potential personnel things, and but it's very normal. Like, you guys get excited about this time of year, but for us it's what we do, and it doesn't change. I know there's a deadline coming up a couple weeks away, but our process is very much the same.
And with Javonte Williams, when he was free agent over the offseason, what about his time in Denver, and specifically last year, wasn't his best season in Denver? What did you guys see that made you guys want to target him in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, just the suddenness, the ability to jump cut, the way he would run through contact, yards after contact, to me is a big thing for running backs. I like big backs, I really do. I think it's that type of league right now with how everything is, played and physical, and but you do see a guy that creates explosives, and I think why does he do that? Because he doesn't hesitate, and it jumped off the film. It wasn't, again, something that they felt like, but we knew it was something that we wanted to add to our team.
Patrick.
I caught it. Yeah. I actually started to sing the rap song. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, sir. Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big backs.
I like big backs.
No, some people just got it. Some people just got it in the back.
I caught it right away.
Leave it to my man right there. Yeah, it's going to be hard to follow up with. Yeah.
Okay.
You get 2 questions.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Coach. So,
That's the first thing I
good morning,
thought.
Coach.
Morning.
Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. I too like big back. So going to George Pickens really quickly, a lot of the conversation with him, rightfully so, has been the production that he has for you guys, and also locker room etiquette, joining the brotherhood, and so forth and so on. The DPI component of it. So I'm going to throw some stats at you from his DPI component, and I'm just curious as far as your take. So he's drawn 4 defensive pass interferences. That's second only to Jamar Chase. 116 yards gained that you guys have gained on his DPI penalties, first in the league. And 24 points scored on drives in which he's drawn a DPI. Would you talk about the reaction to those types of numbers and just the value that he brings, not only on the general stat sheet, but in plays like that where they impact the drives positively for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think, he's a tremendous weapon because of his size, and I think maybe most fans that don't have a chance to be around him like we do, all of us in here, you don't realize how big and long he is and all that. Again, he's a guy that if you're not combative with down the field, he's almost impossible to cover on those 50-50 throws. I think there's huge momentum swings for us when that happens. I know I feel that way. You throw a go ball down there and he catches it, you're excited. But if he doesn't catch it and you see a flag, you're just as excited because it's normally going to be a PI penalty and not an illegal contact penalty. But that's who he is. But, what I'm most excited about is how much fun he has playing the game. And I got home late last night, and I guess he was mic'd up, which I don't know who decided to have him mic'd up, Tad. That's interesting, but probably like micing me up. But, just how much fun the guy has playing the game. And our guys feed off it. Our guys were very loose in that last game, and that's what we're trying to bring, whether you're playing in Denver, whether you're playing last week at home against Washington. Sunday's your day to have fun and to not try too hard and to fly around and to play free. And I felt really good after pregame warmups because of how loose our team was and confident.
Second question to the guys that are coming back. Obviously, there's a lot of expectation on Overshown to try to hit the ground running as quickly as he can. But can you guys talk about just the balance of his expectations, his potential, but also just the grace of understanding the injury he's returning from?
Yeah, I don't put expectations on him that can come even remotely close to the expectations he has for himself. He's that type of young man. He lives his life that way. It's not just football. He lives his life as a dad like that. He does all that stuff. And I just want him to focus on his preparation. I want him to focus on having good practices, stacking good practices. Because when you get out there and play, man, he hasn't forgotten how to tackle. He hasn't forgotten how to rush. He hasn't forgotten how to cover. Those things are going to happen. But for us to say that you watch him today and some of the things that we do, he's going to look like he maybe did when he was starring at Texas or his first couple years with us when he was playing great. It is a process. And so we're there to support him. And if he does have I'm not saying he's going to, a average or below average practice, there's no panic on my face. I'm great. I can't wait. I'm just happy to have you out here. And I think that's what these guys want from us.
I got to say that listening to Brian Schottenheimer is a pleasure in comparison to listening to, say, Jason Garrett or Mike McCarthy. You got to say that Brian Schottenheimer is definitely living his best life right now and enjoying being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and the players seem to respond to him. So there you have it. I will see you guys in about a half an hour on the Dan Saleo Show. Peace out.